here at the Cleveland's Classic Consoles and Arcade Gaming event here. Haven't been to an actual gaming event probably since the Midwest Gaming Classic in 2019. Also did a few things like the Video Game Summit that year, but it's been a while since I've been to a purely video gaming event. So this is going to be really cool, give me a chance to look for some of the gaming items that are on my short list, and hopefully I can take care of as many of those as possible without breaking the bank.
We're back from CCAG, and it was a fun time. It reminds me a lot of VG Summit, to where there's a lot to see game-wise, a lot of vendors and such, but it isn't too big and it isn't too overcrowded. So it was a nice show to go to, kind of look through some wares and pick out some things that I've been looking for. And speaking of that, I did take care of getting some of those items off of my short list, and believe it or not, this is something that was on my Amazon wish list, something that I've been kind of keeping my eye on. And normally when I go to these shows, I go through, do the laps around the tables. I don't really buy anything right away, and I kind of survey and see what's available before I go back and start buying things. But this was something that I saw, and it was kind of the online meme, the Fry from Futurama, the shut up and take my money. And that being, it's not even a video game, actually. We have the X-Men versus Street Fighter action figure series. This one was made by Toy Biz. This one specifically Gambit and Cammy, and this one is part of Series 2. There was a Series 1 that had some figure sets such as Ryu and Magneto, but I saw this surfing online, and this is kind of the one specifically I wanted the most with Gambit and Cammy. I've seen online that most of these seem to run $50, $60, $70 when they sell on eBay, but I was able to pick this up for $30, and it's in excellent condition. I might not call it like mint, but it's in great condition on the card. So I think that one's a win for $30 for me. And I have seen online that there are Air variants where say they'll have like Gambit and Cammy listed here on the graphic, but there's different figures on the inside. So there are actually Airs that I've seen listed on eBay for higher amounts. But this overall series, you can see the back of there, kind of gives the description of both the characters and shows off the ability for Gambit to actually throw the cards. But you've got sets like Apocalypse and Dhalsim. There's also a Gambit and Zangief, Juggernaut and Chun-Li, some of the other ones there. But very pleased to add this to my collection. I don't collect a ton of figures and action figures, but I do pick them up here and there when they're gaming related, and I was actually on the lookout for this one. I did not expect to find it at CCAG. And also from that same vendor, picked up a couple of magazines. Here we have issue number 73 of Electronic Gaming Monthly. This one hits around the time where fighting games were popular. The PlayStation is just about to come out, and the Saturn just came out. So a lot of really cool things on here, a lot of stuff about Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, and a lot of things for Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis as well, with advertisements and previews of a lot of stuff coming out for the PlayStation. And then also picked up another magazine, also EGM, but a little bit older. This is the June 1991 issue. Has Hudson Hawk on there. The corner is ripped, but that's pretty much the only major cosmetic issue with this publication. But this one hits just before fighting games and goes over a lot of stuff. I believe this is where the Super Nintendo was just about to come out. So very heavy with Sega Genesis, Game Gear TurboGrafx, NES coverage. So it's one that I got to go through. This one, Battletoads, has just released, so it's reviewed in this game and in this issue of the magazine. Sorry. So that's gonna be a lot of fun to look through. So kind of purposely went for two different eras of console generations with these two magazines. Unfortunately, no tips and tricks that I could locate at CCAG. There was a bin full of Nintendo Power, and I've been picking up Nintendo Powers here and there, but it's not something that I really focus on. So I was kind of putting my efforts toward finding more of the games that I was looking for. And the first one that I have on top here, we just have a loose copy of the original Twisted Metal. My friends and I played Twisted Metal 2 all the time. Big fan of Twisted Metal 2, and just looking through my collection, I don't mind Twisted Metal. It isn't as good as Twisted Metal 2, but I still have fun with the first one. Still has a lot of the corniness, kind of they tried to go realistic with it a little bit, and it has the cool features like you can do the first person driving, and it shows the driver's hands and arms and everything. So there's kind of a lot of the cool sort of cheesy, like full motion video style type things that they do with the game. I enjoy it, and for a loose copy at a couple of bucks, I'll definitely add that to the collection. Also going PlayStation loose, the price was right on this one. Had my eye on this. Not like it goes for a lot of money, but I don't see it everywhere. We have Shadow of Destiny, PlayStation 2 released by Konami, where you play as a character who is unfortunately murdered, but through chance, you're able to kind of go back in time, and with the knowledge that you are being murdered, you can go around and try to solve the mystery of the murder and prevent you from being murdered again. So and then it gets pretty wacky towards the end of the game as well. This one, I know it did get a PSP re-release as well, so it's just kind of one of those games that it's really unique, and been wanting to check it out for quite some time. So for the price that I got this at, I can definitely deal with that, and I look forward to playing this one. Also, we have, for some reason I didn't have this in my collection already, probably because I just play it at the arcade all the time, but we have the Nintendo 64 Mace the Dark Age. I do enjoy this game quite a bit. I think it's fun. It's not the best fighter that's available, but for this era of 3D fighting games, I mean, it doesn't kind of approach Soul Calibur or anything like that, but I thought it was pretty fun, and it had some weird goofy characters in it, especially some of the characters, the secret characters, like you can play as the chicken. Does need a little bit of cleaning up. You can tell obviously it was a rental copy. I got most of the stickers off, but still need some more touching up, and get some brush on here, and try to get the marker off of it. But for a rental copy, at least it didn't have those foil stickers where if you try to peel them off, it leaves the residue on there that shows that somebody ripped the stickers off of it. Also, for Super Nintendo, we have Ken Griffey Jr. Presents Major League Baseball. This one, I've been looking for this one for quite some time, and this is one of the times that I did a little bit of haggling. I purchased multiple items from one vendor and got to knock the price down on some of the items. So this one I got at a very good price, so couldn't pass it up. And this is one of the games that my friends introduced me to it, and I ended up really enjoying it. It's probably my favorite baseball game on the Super Nintendo, so it's good to add this one to the collection, and I'm looking forward to playing this one. And this is also another one that I got the price knocked down a little bit. Got a copy of Urban Reign for the PlayStation 2. This one isn't quite complete. It doesn't have the instruction manual, but it's kind of in rough condition, and I need to do a little bit of work on it. So this is one that this is kind of the driving force of what made me ask for the price to be taken down on those items. But this is an awesome game. I kind of regret trading it in around the time that it released. I think this was around the time that the Xbox 360 came out, and I traded some items to get the Xbox 360. So good to have this game back in, but I'm going to have the disc resurfaced on it. It's a little iffy in the system, so got it cleaned up, but that wasn't quite enough. But I think with a little bit of disc repair, that this will be working fine. And then next, for the PlayStation 1, this was actually on my short list. We have Star Wars Masters of Terrascasi, kind of a crappy fighting game, but this is another one. The price was right on it, especially for a complete copy. The jewel case is a little rough, but everything else looks great. The game disc works just fine, so kind of playing it a little bit. My only real experience with this game is I rented it one time around the time it released, and haven't touched it since. So with my experimentation on crappy fighting games these days, maybe I can dig into it and find some enjoyment in it. But like I said, for the price that I got this at, I couldn't pass it up. And then this one, normally I wouldn't go out of my way to get something like this, but for whatever reason the vendor was selling it so cheap that I just had to bite on it. It's a reproduction cart, Mortal Kombat 2 Unlimited, and it doesn't have instructions or anything, but you just got you get a case with it. And for what I paid for this, most people would ask for more money from a loose copy of Mortal Kombat 1 or Mortal Kombat 2 for the Sega Genesis. So Like I said, this seems interesting because it makes all the hidden and boss characters playable, and it has a combo counter on it. I don't know if it tries to do the gimmick of the combos from Mortal Kombat 3, but this one will be definitely interesting to dig into and see what exactly makes the game tick. But it'll be an interesting experience, and like I said, normally I wouldn't pony up for something like this, but with the price that it was at, it was such a low price. I was intrigued by it, so get it. And last but not least, I've been looking for this one, the GameCube copy of Fight Night Round 2. My friends and I used to play Fight Night Round 2 all the time. Started on the PlayStation 2, but picked up the GameCube version because it does include a playable Super Punch-Out, and if you can get through the entirety of Super Punch-Out without losing, you unlock an in-game Little Mac fighter for Fight Night Round 2, which is kind of creepy looking. But this is definitely a fun boxing game. Between Fight Night Round 2 and Fight Night Round 3, I'm not sure which one I like more, but this is definitely, if you're going for simulation boxing, I don't think it gets much better than this. But those are my pickups, and I made do with the cash that I had on hand. So I kind of went there with a budget and was able to stick with the budget. And I got a number of things that I was honestly looking for that was on my short list. Saw tons of other cool things too, things that I could afford, but it's a matter of if I should spend that money right now. There was a copy of Strider 2 for PlayStation 1. There was the Sega CD game that's based off of the Japanese manga and anime Cobra, which I've never seen before, but that was quite pricey. But it's a lot of things there, and I think a lot of the vendors were reasonable too. Lots of things there that I found that were very fairly priced. So if CCAG continues on and they hold it in 2022, I'll definitely be able to know a little bit more about the event, and I'll be interested in checking it out again. So there's the information on the side of the screen there. You can go to ccagshow.com and follow them on Facebook as well and learn more about the show. Definitely a cool show. There wasn't much maybe to do. There wasn't like open gaming stations, and there wasn't a whole lot of arcade items there actually, but if you're into collecting video games, if you're into shopping for video games, is definitely a great place to check out and kind of fill in your collection. So it's definitely recommend the event, and hopefully it was a success and we can see it again next year.